My game Pigs in Space is in the middle of development. While testing the game, I'm at the point where I want to add new features to the game, but I'm very aware I may be allowing a degree of feature creep, also known as game or scope creep, into it. Feature creep is one of the most common sources of cost and prolonged development time for game devs, and it can cause games to be completely abandoned. This is possibly the most dangerous issue for any game dev. The game dev blogger Scott Crabtree said it's a major risk for virtually every game project. Back to my game. You are a rocket flying in space with waves of cartoon animals with funny sound effects which you shoot to get points. There are asteroids to avoid with health and ammunition boxes to collect. So far there are pigs, goats, mice and giraffe enemies, and I've also planned on adding more animal enemies. However, I'm now planning on the player reaching a shop every now and then to spend points on weapon upgrades and to buy health and ammo. The reason for this is I hadn't thought enough early on why the player would actually want to shoot or hear animal enemies and get points. Some players may just avoid them, as there's no gain to shooting them if the points are just arbitrary or pointless. Making a shop, however, may be feature creep, as it wasn't in the initial plan. It may be necessary, however. This new feature brings a whole new design element which I need for the game. New weapons or skills that make things more complex. I need to make sure that one weapon that you can buy is not so good that it makes every game too easy. I also need to make sure that the weapons are fun and interesting to use. Feature creep is a real thing for solo indie game developers and also AAA game companies. Possibly the most famous example is Duke Nukem Forever. This first-person shooter took 15 years to make, and the developers even changed the game engine several times, tempted by newer features and benefits from the different game engines. It's something that game devs need to anticipate and resist a lot of the time. Otherwise, you keep working on new things, changing the dynamics around that either breaks the game or takes way longer than it should do to make the game, and result in the progress becoming a chore or a slog, or risk that you get tempted by that allure of starting some shiny new game. And I know, as I have dozens of half-finished games that I've not gone back to, even though I want to at some point. According to a survey a few years ago, 37% of game devs reported that their games have been delayed due to feature creep. At the start of the concept of your game, it's a good idea to think about your game mechanics, how many levels you want, what art assets you need, the number of NPCs or enemies, and anticipate where the feature creep may try and sneak up on you and attack you. Decide in advance where your boundaries lie and allow yourself not to reach for perfection, or you'll never finish developing your games. Regarding my game Pigs in Space, I've decided to go with the feature creep idea, as I think in this case it will make the game more fun and enjoyable. And after all, it's not a complex project as it stands, and I've got more to gain than to lose, even though it will add time to the game development. In game development, just because you can add something doesn't mean that you should do it. Game devs can add too many systems such as inventories, reward systems, multiplayer, inbuilt level designs, multiple skins. What may seem cool to some, it may feel overwhelming and ugly to others. I've enjoyed making this, and I want to think about some other game development topics and other future videos. Please subscribe, please like, that will be really encouraging to me. Thanks.